Grim's Reapers underground. We hope you survive.
Yeah. Sorry about the delay, my demons. Unholy fuck. As you very well know, everything is always on a swivel around the devil's den. But I have got a treat for y'all tonight as I am doing a double feature. That's right. I am doing a spotlight on some excellent indie films tonight by the great Chase Dudley of Broken Innocence. And then the great Ryan Cavaline, bringing us another tale from Pennsylvania in a little piece of carnage known as This Way to Hell. But before we get into all this business, we're going to take a quick commercial break to the wonderful, the Amazeballs, the best tattoo convention in the entire country. Shit, the world, as far as I'm concerned. And that, of course, is Villain Arts Tattoos, which I will be at in Chicago for the Villain Arts Tattoo Convention. Check them out. You know what to do when the big bad devil daddy himself, Chicago, says that he is coming. You best come on down, check me out, get some signed merch and some DVDs, t-shirts, stickers, and all of my occult wares that are just gonna make your liver quiver. That's right. So if they come to your city, your state, your town, make sure that you get there. All right, Lizzie and Mortimer, good to see you all. Make sure that you are sharing this out anywhere and everywhere that there is a Chase Dudley or Ryan Cavaline fan out there. They are proven directors of excellence. I have interviewed Ryan Cavaline, I want to say about 2 years ago, for a film that he had did, which was The Big Chainsaw Killer. I forget the name of the film, but damn it, it was such a good time. And I had such a great time interviewing him. But yeah, let's make sure that we're sharing this out. And of course, the great Chase Dudley has given us so many amazing films. Many that are on Tubi right fucking now. And that's one of the great things about indie film. You know, if the fact that Tubi is one of, I don't know, I guess I'd have to say the best place, honestly. I mean, I know everybody wants to make money, but it's Tubi and it's free. It's free to the viewer and we get to see his great, great work. So that is where actually I'm going to go ahead and start with my review. Chase Dudley is somebody I've wanted to work with actually for a pretty long time. His vision his filming is just amazing. The amount of work and time and just pure talent that goes into any of his films. He's always got, I don't know, the vision comes to life in these films. And I was watching one of the other ones, and he told me, because I had gotten done and told him that I was really blown away by this film. And I forget the name of it right now, which sucks. Sorry. Didn't mean to. But he said, you might want to check out Broken Innocence. It is a deeper film. And that I was really going to be not necessarily, I wouldn't say shocked, but the material was heavier. And of course, I love psychological thrillers. And this one fucking delivers in every sense of the imagination. But it was called Payday. Sorry, I just remembered. I had viewed Payday, and I was like, that movie was so fucking amazing. I loved it. I love crime thrillers. But this one is also a crime thriller, but in a different way. Broken Innocence covers some pretty, let me let you know right off rip, for some of you demons out there that don't know, that this is a 18 plus show and 18 plus network. So if you are not old enough, you might want to leave right now. Get the fuck out. But this particular film covers one of the most sickening traumas that I could ever think of. And that is the abuse of a child of any kind. And that's what makes this film so heavy. We have a family. We have a very prominent family. In this film, they have wealth because it's a wife, a daughter, and a husband, obviously, that she is the heiress of basically a fortune, a bank fortune, because her father is the owner of a bank. And her husband works for this bank. It stars Adriana Harris, who honestly I think was the best pick for the role of the daughter. She absolutely kind of just grabbed me right from rip. Sherry Davis as the mom. Unholy fuck. Ooh-wee. I don't think there could have been anyone else to play that role. And all the way to Paul T. Taylor as the husband. Just, he was I don't know. He was the epitome of monster. Let's put it that way. Just the epitome of monster in this film. I don't think anyone else could have played it. One of the things that I love about films like this is key locations. Hey, what's up, JD? Good to see you, my brother. Make sure you're sharing this shit out anywhere and everywhere. The locations that Chase Dudley has gotten for this film, it literally makes you feel like you're there. Anything from the bowling alley that Adriana's character and her friends are hanging out, to the school, excuse me, the house. Gorgeous house. I mean, it definitely makes you feel like it's a house of horrors. I didn't say horrors. Horrors. Okay. But you could easily feel, and it has a certain graininess to it when I say that, because visually, cinematography wise, it makes you feel like it gives you the appearance of, um thank you, Lizzie. The epitome of like darkness. Like, this house is beautiful. It gives you the feeling it's the perfect family. It's, the American dream, if you will. Just a gorgeous place. Um, the Sherry Davis is very pretty. She, kind of like the classy, wife, you know. And then you have Paul T. Taylor, who's like this. He looks much different in this film than he does now, but he's got the beard, and he's got the hair and everything. He struck me as like the Iceman. If you ever watched the film Iceman, let me put this up again so you can see it. You'll see exactly what I'm saying. Look at him. Just look at him there. He makes you want to run for the hills. He looks like what I would say as a stone cold killer type. Just killer as hell. And there's something lurking behind the eyes, and delivers a level of creepiness that you would expect from a character who would commit, in my opinion, one of the most heinous things anyone could do. And it deals with abuse, the abuse of his daughter. And that's all I'm going to say, because I'm sure I'll get hit if I say what it really is. But any type of child abuse is just that is the worst fucking thing you could ever do. And that's what makes this movie so heavy. But, with Adriana Harris as the daughter, she really conveys a disturbed teen. And you can see the difference and the level of emotions. 1 minute, she's like the typical teenager, in high school. Doesn't want to do what her parents say. Nothing like that. But she can go from 0 to 60 just like that, and turn and lash out in ways that is unimaginable. Could you imagine what it would be like for the victim to get the ultimate revenge? But it's not how you think, though. It starts in very, very different doses. The one part in the scene, and I don't want to give too much away because I want you all out there in Black Flame Land and beyond to go check this out. There's the scene where she's helping another kid whose sister was being really shitty to him. And he thanks her, and very much trying to give her a hug. And because, he got pushed down, he was crying because of the way that he had been treated. And when we think of people that have been through or still incurring moments of abuse, they don't want to be touched. And that's understandable. And I feel like this actress really brought this character to life in real life, because it's like when he touches her, and throughout the film, you'll notice that anytime somebody tries to touch her at all, just to give a hug or maybe just, a hand on the shoulder, that kind of thing, anyone out there that has dealt with this type of trauma, it is a very, very normal, kind of a reaction. That she just snaps. And it's very prevalent, and it's scary. Her delivery in these moments throughout the film, that, unfortunately, people die throughout this film in very, very nasty ways. And when you go through something like that, if you've been through something like that in your life, not even that type of trauma, but any trauma, whether you were, beaten or anything like that, because, I went through some of that in my life as well. So I could understand like that emotion, and to convey that on film and have it so believable. I feel that just, it transcended. All the actors and actresses in this film really brought their characters to life. You get sucked into this world because everyone looks at, rich families and people that come from something, you know what I mean? As like everyone wants to be them. You know what I mean? And in this case, it harbors dark secrets. And I've always kind of felt like that. I feel like these families, more money, more problems, right? Nothing is ever perfect. But it turns out, that the father has been doing this for a while. And it started, again, I don't want to give too much away because I want you to go see it. But it was just a shocking revelation to find out that that's how it started, even with the mom, because this man, he's obviously older and was working, for her father, and they became, it's like typical fucking abuse. I married her, and then when she got to be older, his eyes changed, and well, the rest. And it was just heart-wrenching. So many moments. I mean, you look at me and you think, Reaper, you're not going to tear up. You're not going to get upset, right? Oh, calm the fuck on. There were moments throughout this film that brought tears to my eyes. And when, obviously with Revenge, the fact that she was able to get revenge on her abuser, it was awesome. I stood up, I was clapping, I was, hell yeah, that's right, this is what you get, and the fact that the mom was so blinded by this and was, she saw a therapist and the whole 9 yards, trying to repair her marriage to this monster. Come on, right? And for so long, I mean, the sequences between Sherry Davis and Adriana Harris, where they would fight and just, because there's guilt on one side and there's the help me on the other side. That is a hard thing to get across, especially, this level of indie film. And it just comes across so well. I could not applaud this more. Their scenes together were just electric. And, there's so much I don't want to give away because, again, I want you to go and see this. But I think you're getting a picture here. Music choice, unholy fuck. The scoring for this film is so beautiful, and it only amplifies the thriller, the moments leading up to when the daughter snaps and she's got this bloodlust because she's holding all these emotions in and all this hate and things of that nature. So when you have a score that goes perfectly with every single part of this family story, it just brings it that much more real to you. So I got to give a disclaimer. If you're sensitive to this type of stuff, might not be a film for you. I'm just going to put it out there, especially, if healing hasn't happened. But for everyone, I think it brings great awareness to this type of child trauma, family trauma at that. That this film gives you a sense of understanding, that it's not just entertainment. Chase Dudley brings this in a way that so many other films may have tried, but honestly, this one touched me to my core. So if it could do that to me, and I've watched every scenario in horror film. But this was just very gripping. Thriller, crime thriller to the max. I applaud the script writing. Obviously, like I said, the cast is just unfucking deniable that they were the best choices. The delivery, second to none. They're gonna make you cry. I'm telling you. And you're going to be like, oh, I just want to punch that motherfucker in the face. Seriously. It's that type of film. And, so many of us in the world have seen the ugliness and the terribleness of what can happen, to families. And I kind of almost feel like this film brings... How do I want to put that? It makes you happy because not only does it bring the awareness, but it brings a sense of justice. And in a lot of cases, so many cases, this type of shit gets swept under the rug, man. You know what I'm saying? Because people in powerful positions, money, being rich and shit like that, a lot of this stuff goes unnoticed. And the main character, Ariana Harris's character, she has great support from friends, and they know something's wrong. They don't know what, but they get a sense that not everything is okay. And they try throughout the film, but again, Harris's character really brings it, like she plays it off like my father's an asshole and this kind of thing, because she doesn't want people to know, but in a way she does. And the most important person in this film is her mother, and she wants her to do something about it. And the fact that so many times in this situation, parents are blind. They don't want to think that the guy that they look at or the gal that they look at every day, because this is cross purposes. It can go to anybody in this type of situation. They don't want to think that their partner is capable of something like that, even though they may know. Maybe they have a feeling that they are capable of doing this. And finally, there is retribution. And the fact that the mother, Sherry Davis's character, ends up doing the ultimate sacrifice. And all of us as parents would always go to bat for our children. All of us. she brings it. She brings it in a hardcore way, makes the ultimate sacrifice. And I could not stop applauding. Tears in my eyes. The effects were great. Any of the physical scenes, I thought everybody did just an amazing job, because it really kind of like takes you further deep into what someone of trauma is capable of doing and what they become. And you watch them become, once they reach that limit, that that moment where emotion just takes over and all sense of right and wrong goes out the door, and other people pay for it in so many unholy horrors kind of type of a price. And this film brings that. It's not just, I'm going to, get the ultimate revenge on my father. This is the idea of that when someone snaps, there is a whole street full of carnage that is left in the wake. And Chase Dudley brings this to you hardcore. And I recommend this film to all of my fans, all of my viewers. You know that if I'm telling you that this film is going to change you, it could make you laugh, it could make you cry, it's going to make you cheer and just really want to like bring and lend your support to this film. The dialogue is fantastic. Thank you for bringing that up, Mortimer, because the emotions fit the dialogue almost more than the dialogue, was even there. It's the fact that they could really, these actors and actresses could really bring this. And it's a tough film. Me as an actor, I mean, I know what it takes to like bring that type of emotion out. Like you tap into something within yourself that just makes you want to destroy. And it's a sad film, but at the same time, it's a fantastic film, because I think the way that this is done, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I don't normally do that. You know that. I don't. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 because the cast was impeccable. The script writing was impeccable. Cinematography was off the charts. It looks like $1 million film. I mean, it just really does. And not only that, but it literally kind of like transplants you into the world of this family. And again, scoring, the music in this film from start to finish grips you. Oh man, just great. There's great songs in it. And just great suspense thriller, even like shiny, happy moments. Like, I don't know. The music on this is impeccable. So 5 out of 5 stars for me. I want you to check it out. Please, definitely check that out. And the reason I chose to do both of these films back to back is because honestly, trauma is kind of a universal thing across both these films. This one hits home a little harder. It hits home a little deeper. But at the same token, I think the next film that I'm going to talk about also brings trauma, the want to bring the ultimate revenge over someone or someones that take away the most important things away from us. So we're going to take a quick commercial break to one of our other sponsors. Excuse me. Before we get into this next little tasty bit, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our brother in the UK over at Poison Valley Scareware. Check it out. That's right. If you're looking for the latest and greatest in horror apparel, get on over and see my dude Dave over at PoisonValleyScareware.com. He can make you custom stuff as well as the awesome designs that he has currently. Okay. So, and just to reiterate, Broken Innocence is on Tubi right now. There is no excuse why you haven't seen it. Okay. Next film. Now, literally, I just watched this one last night. And oh my goodness. Woo! If this poster doesn't grip you just from looking at it, I'm pretty sure that my synopsis will. There is nothing short of hell that comes with this film. Now, we were just talking about Trauma and how both films that I'm discussing tonight definitely have that in common. Again, I had Ryan Cavaline on my show about 2 years ago for the movie Guts on the Chainsaw. Some of you might remember that. If you want to check that interview out, it's still on my page. It never goes away. That's right. So I was absolutely enthralled by him because there's not a lot of directors that do films and write scripts on legends from where they live. And that is something that he injects into a lot of his films. That's okay, Amanda. No worries at all. You can always catch the replay after this is done. I did my review on Chase Dudley's Broken Innocence already. So if you had missed that, you can always go back and rewatch it. So the film that we're here to talk about is This Way to Hell. And when I tell you, it's got everything that you want and more. One of my favorite movie genres are mob films. I absolutely love mob stories. And that is what is centered around this film. I was kind of going into it thinking, I don't know. I wasn't really expecting too much other than there was this heinous guy that needed to be taken down. And the lead actress that you probably saw in the poster would be the one to take him down. And it's, man, right out of the gate, this movie delivers. How often do we get some of these films, especially an indie film, where action just takes off right at the beginning? I was drawn the fuck in. I mean, obviously, with the word hell in the title and seeing the artwork, I'm thinking, ooh, it got my devil senses in an uproar. And I didn't know what to expect. Thought this was going to be a slasher film. Oh, no, not at all. I was pleasantly surprised. let me get the cast and crew here for you, because man, something else. So let me pull this up real fast. Okay, so it starts off with a guy, your typical mob guy, especially in modern times where things are not Soprano style. No, nothing like that. It's not what do you call it? Recycled plot. This is the mob in modern times where street guys aren't dressing in $1,000 suits and living the high life. This is like neighborhood style, gangster stuff where you definitely have the made guys. And this one actually focuses more on, I want to say, like, the soldiers, if that makes sense to you. This guy is coming to do a job, and he's meeting the guy that he's going to do this piece of work for, and his mother is there. I know you're probably already like, hey. Right off rip, it feels like, oh man, I wonder if you saw The Departed. If you saw the film The Departed with Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, and I'm trying to remember the other guy. It has that kind of feel, that dark, like foreboding, it's morning time and it's, the sun's not, if you've ever been to Pennsylvania, come on, man. It's the sun's not ever really shining where it looks like summer ever. You know what I mean? Because it's just kind of a dark place. You know what I mean? And that's why I kind of like brought The Departed into that, because if you remember watching that movie, it was very dark. It didn't seem like, it was ultra 4K, like you were right there with them. It gives a little bit of that graininess. Don't get me wrong. It's pure as the driven snow, but it gives you like, you're looking at reality in real time without looking like this isn't a film. That's the best way I can describe that. Let me just make sure I get this right, because I don't want to be wrong. Trying to get I want to make sure I get the actress and actresses right. Shoot, I don't want to go that way. The actress's name is Darla Brunquell, and she is the mom of this good fella, who's at home with her kid. And here her husband is going for this meeting, and he's there to do this piece of work. Runs into his mom, and he's like, well, where's Polly at? And the mom just keeps talking about, oh, well, you're just in time for tea, but he had to go out for some stuff. So immediately, King Diamond's Them starts playing through my head. It's time for tea. And I'm thinking, oh, well, tea time, especially in this dynamic, is going to spell fucking disaster. And like I said, this is the first 10 minutes of the film. And, they're talking. It seems like they're exchanging pleasantries. And he's like, oh, you've really made me a tea lover. And he starts looking around the place like I would, probably anybody else would. And she's like, oh, well, Polly wanted to do some repainting, so he wanted to start with the living room. Uh, you know, me, and I'm sure most of you out there kind of got this sense of, well, his buddy's not there. He should be there. Why isn't he there? And mom is kind of spooky. It's the best way I can describe that. And, you know, he's like, oh, well, I think you've made me a tea lover. I'm usually a coffee lover. And they're talking and talking. And then all of a sudden it just switches gears and she pulls a gun on him and then describes where Polly went because he was expecting him to be there at 4:00. And the reason Polly left was to go get a bunch of saws to cut him up, and the plastic wrap was to get rid of the body. And here, you know, this guy, this was supposed to be his last job. This was going to be his last job. Again, I don't want to ruin the whole film, but this whole first sequence in the film sucks you the fuck in. It's action personified out of the gate. You got mom, and then you got dude who is there to pick up his partner so they can go do this job. And here it was, a fucking setup. Oh, man. Very, very reminiscent of the mob genre when it comes to film. But you got to remember, this is horror. So they have this shootout, and of course, she loses, but he also loses too because he took one in the gut. So whole time, when you think about if you were in that position, what are you thinking about? What's going through your head? Your wife, your child. And in the mob genre, you don't want them touched. I mean, nobody would. Come on. Get the fuck out of here. So that's what he's thinking. He's, I've got to get to my wife and child. And, well, the unthinkable happens. Let's pull up the poster again, because there is one figure that I want you to really look at. And it's the gentleman that is below the guy in the plague doctor mask. He's in a suit and then has a big old apron on, and he's got this amazing fucked up hat or mask on. My bad. And you can just tell that he is just nightmarish. Well, guess who shows up to do the killing? He goes after her character, Darla's character, and I mean, she's left for dead, and of course takes out the kid in retrospect. And he gets there. It's too late. You know, he's been bleeding for fucking ever, just like any of these, mob stories. And he gets there and he can see that she's laying on the ground because he's already seen the horror inside, which Ryan Cavaline does such a great job at implying this, because you don't see it. You don't need to see it. It's implied. And it was perfectly done. And the look on this actor's face was amazeballs. He's beside himself. He knows there's nothing he can do. So he's trying to find his wife. And he gets out there. And this masked, brutal assassin has just taken his wife out. And he's inches away from her. And then comes out of nowhere. Oh my goodness. Now, I don't know how many of you like this type of cinematography, as well as the way scenes are done. There's a lot of slow motion, which I dug. I think there was a little maybe a little too much for my liking, but it was effective, very effective. And this guy takes him the fuck out, and it's brutal. I mean, he doesn't use what you would think. He's not toting a chainsaw or anything too fucking crazy. I guess his favorite weapon is a hook, and he's just, man. I don't know if it was like in real time and he's just whoosh, 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 laying down on this guy. I mean, I still felt it, and that's a true testament to the actors that were acting in this scene. And he's done. He is gone. Gunshot and a ton of hooks to his body, and he's done. There's nothing left of this guy. And then something unholy awesome happens that made this devil very happy. A hooded figure suddenly comes out of the fray. I was not expecting this, because I'm sitting here going, the wife is left for dead. And I know from the poster that she's got to be the final girl, right? Oh, man, this is where the Drive Angry vibes come in. If anyone's ever seen that Nicolas Cage film. Oh, man. There are Faustian riffs on this, to where this dark figure comes out. He's in full hood, cloak, the whole 9 fucking yards. And he's got this plague doctor mask on. And it makes total fucking sense, too. And he's like, I've been watching you for some time. The voice actor that did this part, he was so cool. Country as fuck, too, which I absolutely loved. I loved his accent, because how many times we see the devil and it's always, I've come for you. You've eluded me for so long. Right? Shit like that. And he's just like this country guy with a country accent. And he's like, I've been watching you for quite a long time. I just thought it was perfect, because it's not something you would expect. Thank you, Mr. Cavaline, for bringing that to this film. And he basically says, hey, you're going to die in about 6 minutes. So you have a choice. Do you want to get revenge? Do you want to, right the wrongs? I'll give you more time. And he's like, takes his hand out, says, all you got to do is sign right here. No contract, no Faustian, parchment paper, all that bullshit. He's like, all you have to do. Her hands covered in blood. I mean, she's a bloody fucking mess, right? And she's like, yeah, I just lost my husband, my kid. I want to get my fucking revenge on. And oh my goodness, everybody out there in the Black Flame universe and beyond, this is nothing short. I mean, she's trying to find out. She wants to get to wherever this masked killer, is, and find out who he is. So what does she do? Runs through the local mob. And when I tell you she runs through them, I mean this in epic, almost Resident Evil style shit. She goes to the local, again, I don't want to give too much away, because I want you guys to watch this film in every stretch of the imagination. She goes to the local gun store and just gets the top of the crop fucking ammo, weaponry. She is badass personified. She is this basically an immortal person now, and she gets a fucking RPG. Because you can find this at your local gunsmith. I was like, fuck yes. This has Mila Jovovich written all over it. Like the vibes, not her style. But she meets with the top of the mob, which is like the boss and the underboss, and just they make it look like they're about to take her out, and she's got fucking puts a grenade on the table. It's like, what you gonna do now, bitches? Oh, what a great moment. And the two actors that play the mob boss and the underboss, I was like, yeah, you guys fucking nailed it. Great fucking job in casting. And she walks outside, and you already know, you piss those motherfuckers off, they're going to be coming for your ass. So she does the next best thing, blows the joint up. Oh my goodness. Usually I'm not a CGI fan, because most of this film, almost 100% of this film, is practical effects, and they're fucking stunning. Great job on the effects people for this film. But the CGI for, the gunshots, the RPG going off and blowing shit up, really well done. And this film is done on a fucking beer budget. Unholy fuck. So she just goes and tears down through the mob, trying to, find out who this guy is. And it leads her all down some different roads. You never, when you think of gangsters, you think of them as just being these heartless, cold fucks that love what they do for the love of money, partying, women, all that shit. But power. So let's talk about power for a second. Did you ever think the mob would sell their souls to the devil? We've never seen that in film. She gets to the main hitman. Again, I don't want to give too much away. Gets to the main hitman, and he basically tells her, like, we all made a contract with the devil. And I'm sitting here going, whoa, this is fucking wild. Wow. Right. And that the butcher and who he turns out to be, not who you think, which is why I'm not giving it away, because I want you to go watch this thing. Legend Hunter Films. This Way to Hell. I want you to watch the film. He doesn't turn out to be who you think he is, and surprise fucking ending. It was unfucking real. And obviously, Darla's character ends up the victor in this situation. But it doesn't stop there. It sets it up for what I could see or possibly becoming as a trilogy of This Way to Hell. Because she basically becomes an agent of Satan. She's like, I'm ready to die. I don't fucking care. And the devil's like, well, I like your work. I'm just going to leave it there. Hopefully I didn't ruin too. I'm not ruining the ending. I promise you. Because what you get, it's very like not expecting it. So if what I've said about the whole synopsis of this film, I mean, what would you do in that situation? These fucking Mongols fucking take out your all your loved ones. Ain't you gonna want to seek revenge on that shit when you're left for dead and you had a chance to come back? Fuck yes, you would. What a fantastic crime / horror film / action film. Honestly, I have to say the CGI work in this film on the budget, it's cool as fuck. It doesn't look so stupid, but at the same time, it's got like those qualities, people that have watched like Sharknado or some of those films on Sci-Fi Channel. And the CGI is really, really fucking bad. Um, the CGI is very modest, and I think it's well placed. Um, especially when you're not like using blanks and shit like that. You don't want to do that. Because of, you don't want to hurt your actors. Actors don't want to hurt each other, that whole fucking shit. But the scenes are so gritty and chilling. Everything you want and in this type. I mean, when you think of The Crow and, Brandon Lee's character is tearing through these guys to get to the top and take these monsters, these bastards out. It's got the same kind of feel and the grittiness and the darkness. And then you add the supernatural occult into it, which is something I was not even expecting in 1,000 fucking years from Ryan. And he delivered. Oh, man. So good. So with this film, I'm going to give it a 4.8. And it's just because there was some use of too much of the slow-mo. But other than that, this film delivers on every stretch of the imagination. And like I said, it gives you the Crow vibes. It gives you Drive Angry. Just great. Almost like the movie Payback, like the revenge vibe. It's so good. If you were able to come back from the worst adversity and you're able to write this traumatic experience, I think you will definitely dig this film. Legend Hunter Films on Facebook, as well as Ryan Cavaline. This is where you can find the film. As far as I know, platform-wise, I don't know if it's on Tubi or not. But all you have to do is reach out to him in Legend Hunter Films, and you could get yourself a copy. And that's what it's really all about, the support of indie film, because these two directors, man, unholy shit. The amount of work that goes into these films. They're not churned out fast either. They take their time. They really put their heart and soul into these projects, and it fucking shows. I was blessed, unholy, to get a copy of this, and it was just a joy to watch. You're going to love it. Absolutely fucking love it. So if you love revenge stories, Broken Innocence, and This Way to Hell brings that and more. So take it from me, Reaper, the unholy one, the big bad devil daddy. I don't just say that these films are good. I watch them, I take them apart, and I'm telling you, these two films deliver all the way. All the way. And you feel it. You feel the emotions. It's not just revenge, but it's also people coming back from these traumatic experiences that it's like, oh, man, it gets you to your core. You can feel that shit. So definitely check these films out. Chase Dudley on Facebook, as well as Ryan Cavaline on Facebook as well. And Broken Innocence is on Tubi right now. Find out how you can get a chance to watch This Way to Hell. Totally fucking worth it in every stretch of the imagination. Thank you all for joining in. I know it was a little bit of a late start. I had a little bit of business to take care of beforehand, but those of you that did show up, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. You're going to love these two films. And if you missed from the beginning, as soon as we're off live, you can go back and watch it from the beginning. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you out there, all my demons and addicts in the comments section. And most importantly, share this shit out. Share it everywhere. Because let's face it, who knows horror better than the big bad devil daddy himself. All right. Don't forget tomorrow night, Tracks of the Damned. And then on Saturday, we're going to have a couple of surprises for you. So definitely stay tuned on Black Flame and Reapers Underground. And most importantly, stay heavy.
Thank you for joining us on Reapers Underground. Stay tuned for more from Black Flame Entertainment.